Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, we have lots to talk about. I want to talk about Charles and the Beckhams. I want to talk about what I think is going on with Harry and Meghan. I want to talk about Charles's nod to his, wonderful daughter-in-law, Catherine, Princess of Wales. I have lots to talk to you guys about, and I have a little bit of juice for you, a little bit of maybe gossip, maybe substantiated. I don't know. Let's talk. Thank you guys for being here today. Honk honk, everybody. Okay, so Charles and Camilla are in Kenya right now. They're doing a visit, and I wanted to talk about this because all of a sudden there's some interesting timing of some things happening. So we have Charles and Camilla visiting, right? We're getting wonderful pictures like this. And all of a sudden, we get this news story coming out. Now, this is courtesy of Daily Mail, and I find this really interesting. Humanitarian Prince Harry appointed to the board of directors of African Parks for his conservation work. Okay. I don't really need to read this with you. I know they all have had long-standing ties to Africa, and Harry has called it his second home. He talks fondly of it. Okay. So all of a sudden we're getting news of this appointment, right? And I find it interesting that it's right at the time that Charles and Camilla are visiting Africa and spending time in Kenya. And nothing is coincidental, right? I just feel like I don't really know much about the appointment and I don't really care. It's just what interests me is the timing of it all. Has this been a thing and they sat on it and they're putting it out now to try to overshadow Charles? That's my question to you all, because that sure as shit sounds like something that they would do, right? I just find the timing very suspect. During the visit, it was at a state dinner, Charles gave a speech. Now, I've got a little clip here for you that I'm going to play, and I just take a listen and wonder why plates are breaking all over Montecito.
It was here, in sight of Mount Kenya, that my son, the Prince of Wales, proposed to his wife, now my beloved daughter-in-law.
Yeah, so no mention of the other two, but he talked about his son, the Prince of Wales, and his beloved daughter-in-law, and I love that. And they did get engaged in Kenya. And I love that Charles acknowledged it in the speech, and I love that he didn't discuss the other two. Okay, so here's where that little bit of gossip that I have comes into play, because you got to take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. I got some information that may or may not be valid, so we're going to say a big fat allegedly. I hear, see, I'm talking like one of those blind items. I hear that Harold of Harold and Fraud tried and maybe even flew over there to try to meet with Charles. But allegedly, he was turned away. Dun, dun, dun. Again, you got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to take it with a grain of salt. This is just information that I was given. There's honestly no way to check it. When I Googled it, no information came up. So it may be true, it may not be true. But I like to think so. What would he be talking to Charles about? How dare you mention my brother and his wife and not me and my wife? He already got bigger sausages than me. Why aren't you talking about us? Me. That's what makes me think that, do you see where I'm going with this? That's what makes me think the timing of the other announcement of the appointment of Harry's is all very suspect, right? That let's say that he's mad and trying to go over and talk to his dad or whatever it is, right? And his dad won't see him and stuff. I just wonder, is that his FU to the family again? I'm trying to make sense of it all. Again, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not sure if it's true. It could all be made up, but I think it's interesting. And it kind of weirdly makes sense and kind of goes with, well, things that we've seen Harold and Fraud do in the past. What did he try to speak to Charles about? I have no idea. We could guess. Shall we speculate? Why did you mention my brother and not me? Meh. I mean, just anything. Why didn't I get co-prince? Why'd you give it to William? I know I couldn't be bothered to come have a conversation with you at your coronation, but you don't have time for me when you're making a state visit. Meh. I don't know. Again, just pure speculation, but I like to think it's true. And thank you to you who passed on to this information to me. I appreciate it. Let's play a game called What If That Is True? What if he did fly over there? Is it because that Charles just acknowledged William and Catherine in the world stage in a very important speech and they were not? Do you think... I'm processing it at the same time. And if he did fly all the way there and was turned away, not only was he not acknowledged in speech, he wasn't acknowledged in person. So there's just so much. There's so much. Do you think Harold is fine? Do you think it's finally sinking in for Harold? Like, oh shit, Daddy's not protecting me. I don't know. I really don't know. I find it all so fascinating and I wanted to process it with you. And the person did say that I could mention this stuff, but again, you have to take it with a grain of salt. This is basically a blind item. So I appreciate, again, the one who sent it to me. I just find it all so fascinating, and it kind of weirdly makes sense knowing Harold and fraud as we do. All right, let's get into the Beckham stuff. So this is out of Daily Mail. David Beckham accepts invite for dinner with King Charles to discuss becoming a charity ambassador for the Prince's Foundation. After I'm so excited and giddy, I can't even read it. After distancing himself from Harry and Meghan. So you know that I love to be petty. Petty's where I live. Come sit next to me. We'll be petty together. I just think this is so great. Okay, think about this. So here we are with the Beckham's documentary doing so well on Netflix. Harkles can't say the same, right? In fact, the last bunch of projects from the Harkles, flops. But the Beckhams are doing so well. I actually heard that was the reason for the Netflix increase. I don't know if that's true or not, but I find that very funny if that's the case. Regardless, it seems to be doing very well. I've said before, I'm working my way through it. I'm enjoying the heck out of it, and I don't know anything about football, as you call it, or soccer, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what to call it. But I know that David Beckham is handsome and Victoria Beckham is one of the Spice Girls, so I'm a fan. Now I'm even bigger fan because they apparently can't stand the Harkles either. I'm here for that. I just love this story so much. Think about the things that we've heard that allegedly what the Beckhams were there to help Invictus. And again, a big fat allegedly, the wife didn't want Victoria to overshadow her. So the story went something along the lines of Harold was instructed to ignore David Beckham from there on. And so thus the falling out, there's more to it than that, but that's very much in a nutshell. And I freaking love that their Netflix documentary is doing so well. And now they've been invited to dinner with Charles. And something else just to think about, all this news coming out. You know, Harold and Fraud keep putting out this, I don't know how else to say it, fake news. You know, I hate that word. But, you know, basically these stories to keep their names out there. We got Scobie's book coming out soon. And yet it's being overshadowed by a dinner invitation from the king to David Beckham. And I just want to do chef's kiss. You know, plates are breaking all over Montecito. You know it. If all they had to do was not be assholes, and they would have gotten so much farther, but they choose the wrong option every time. What I mean is, all they had to do was continue to be nice with the Beckhams. They couldn't do it, allegedly. They couldn't. She couldn't. I don't know. But all they had to do was be people. They couldn't do it, and so here we are. So they had a falling out with the Beckhams. The Beckhams are doing great. And it's not even that I'm a diehard fan. I really don't know much about them, but I like them a lot, especially after watching the documentary. I feel like I'm kind of getting to know them more. Again, I was a fan of the Spice Girls. Don't judge me. I still am. So I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Anyway. But I just think this is great. This is so much fun. And great timing on all of it. I just keep going back. If it is true about Harry trying to go to Kenya to talk to his dad, if his dad's publicly acknowledging William and Catherine. And then the Beckhams are getting the invite to dinner. It's just kind of putting it in perspective again how much the Harkles are. Whew, they really messed everything up, didn't they? They had everything at their fingertips, and they just have to ruin everything. And here we are again. And I mean, I don't feel sorry for them. They brought it upon themselves. All they had to do was be, I don't know, decent people, and they just can't do it. So they continue to fail, and I continue to laugh. So here we are. So guys, I'm ending it here. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for watching. I'm dying to know your thoughts on this one. Let me know all of it. Have you heard the rumblings about Harold possibly going to Africa? Did you think that the timing was suspect on the release of his, whatever the hell they're calling it, promotion? I don't know. That he was put over the parks, basically. Do you find it delicious that the Beckhams seem to be doing so well and the Harkles continue to, I don't know, fail spectacularly on the world stage? All the things. Let me know in the comments below. You guys are the best. Thank you for everything. I hope you guys have the best day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.